He's coming. He just stepped inside the building.
All right.
You want me to stay here with you?
Yes.
Shall I participate in the conversation?
Well, I'd appreciate it if you'd follow my lead, Stephen. John Fowler's coming to fence a bit. He wants to find out what we've got.
More than that, I think. He wants to find out the nature of his opposition.
Yes? Send him in. Hello, John.
Hello, Ted.
Of course, you know my associate, Stephen Cord.
Later, boss.
Mr. Fowler?
Sit down, John. Sit down.
Thank you.
May I offer you a brandy?
Oh, fine.
This should suit the occasion. You caught us by surprise. We weren't expecting to talk to you quite so soon.
I thought we should have a talk before the hearing.
Sounds like a good idea.
Ted, that courtroom is going to be full of ghosts. I know you'll want to point out to the jury that the last time there was a murder trial in Peyton Place, an innocent man was sent to prison. Then I would have to remind them that it was Rodney's father who withheld evidence and was responsible for that. Then it would be natural for you to counter with the fact that my father was terribly hurt when he found out what Leslie Harrington had done, and perhaps to suggest that I'm some sort of a fire-eating avenger on a personal crusade. I'd like to nip all that in the bud. I suppose you could say I want to set some ground rules, Mr. Cord.
Has to be considered. I'd hate to see Rodney victimized by the past.
It might not just be Rodney. The whole town could find itself on trial again.
What you say is true, John, but I'm not defending the town. I'm defending the life of just one boy.
Mr. Dow, may I?
Yes, go on.
We know that Leslie Harrington is going to be in that courtroom. And we know that half the town hates him for what he did. But we also know that Elliot Carson is going to be there.
It may explode in my face, John, but I'd be failing Rodney badly if... We'd be failing Rodney badly if we didn't point to the immediate example of Elliot Carson and remind the jury that juries before them have convicted innocent men.
I thought you'd feel that way. I would myself under other conditions. But this case is so full of variables, I was hoping we could cancel some of them out. Discussing Leslie Harrington over brandy is one thing. In an emotion-charged courtroom, it's something else again.
Well, there's still a preliminary hearing between us and that emotion-charged courtroom, Mr. Fowler.
I think the hearing will only be a formality, Mr. Cord. I believe I have evidence of intention.
Would you care to elaborate on that, John? I was going to ask you for a list of witnesses and copies of their statements if you give them to me.
I'm afraid I'd be pretty severely criticized if I did that just now. You know we've no precedent for opening our files before a hearing. But if Rodney is held to answer, you could file a motion. I think I'd prefer to have the court make a ruling, then we'd turn over whatever the judge required.
I won't say that I'm not disappointed. It may be a bit premature officially, but...
I'm sorry, Ted. Now, give some thought to the ground rules, will you? I won't hold you to that, no.
No deals, John.
Well, I'll see you at the hearing, then. Mr. Cord?
I'd say he played his openers very well.
It was a good maneuver. I'd have done it, too. I was just surprised that he wouldn't release the information. You were right, Stephen. It looks as if he isn't going to give anything away.
Fancy meeting you here. Oh, I have all the comforts of home. Got a view of the square. Same square I've looked at 1,000 times and never really seen. Now I know every inch of it. Books, magazines, compliments of your father. No file. You used to laugh at my jokes.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you fit right in. The guards aren't much for conversation either. I haven't seen any other prisoners. It's a real quiet place. Restful. I guess I'll get to know the morning shift. They're the ones that shave you. We're not allowed to have anything sharp in here.
Let's talk about it.
What do you want to talk about?
Us.
Oh, that's all I've done is talk to you about us. Telling you how much.
What?
Later. Later, when this is all over, then I'll tell you all the things that I've been telling you in my mind. And then some.
No, Rodney, now's the time.
You know, I can understand why people write books in prison. It's a real great place to get to know yourself. I don't like what I found.
Don't say that.
What am I? That's what gets me hung up. I got it narrowed down to do-gooder, smart guy, and just dumb kid. What did I think I'd gain by going after Chernow?
You were trying to help Norman.
How? How can I help Norman by stepping all over Chernow? He wasn't the kind of guy to back away, not from somebody his own age. It just make him meaner and more determined. Or was I going to reason with him? Was I going to show my father and Norman and everyone else that I could handle it? That I could do something that nobody else could do because I didn't need anybody? Even when Norman wanted to call my father after the police questioned me, I still said, no, I'm going to handle it alone. I'm going to climb out from under. Oh, I was so sure I wasn't going to make the same mistakes my parents made. I was going to show everybody I was different, wiser, smarter. Because I didn't need anyone. You remember that night on the schooner?
I remember.
You told me about your parents. You weren't afraid to let me know you needed me.
There was nobody else I wanted to tell.
Afterwards, you said you would have run away, but I talked you out of it. I should have let you go, Allison.
No, you were right to make me stay. We were both right not to run away. Why do you think I turned to you that night? I wasn't looking for you. I thought I wanted to be by myself, and then suddenly you were there. You were troubled, I could tell, but you listened to me. You had a kind of strength I'd never seen before. I felt I'd never really known you or cared for you as much. It isn't wrong to want to stand by yourself.
I'll try and remember that. Maybe I have learned something from all this mess. Even if I can't stand alone, I do need somebody. I'll always need you, Allison.
I love you.
from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I do believe in something. It's called justice.
I wouldn't count too much on justice, Stella. Very cold comfort for the dead.
When this case comes to trial, we'll subpoena you and Rita. And then you'll have to talk in public.
Leave us alone.
I mean it, Rita.
He finished me, and his son finished my son.
I'm sorry. Mr. Harrington was your friend.
Leslie Harrington is nobody's friend.